So I guess I just kind of want to preface this video by saying that there is no right one way to prepare and have MCAT journey, rather than, oh, this is the one correct way to do this. More so taking bits and pieces of, oh, this is something that works for me, and maybe this is something that doesn't work for me, and that's totally okay. Kind of like tailoring it to you. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Srikar from MedLife Mastery, and today I'm super excited to be talking to you about my MCAT journey. And it was really anxiety-inducing, not just because of the actual test itself, which definitely brought a lot of pressure as well, but just everything else that was going on in the world at the time. So something that was a little bit unique about that whole experience was it was during the height of COVID. There was a lot of uncertainty, and that definitely added to all the stress. But I think 4 takeaways that I kind of want to share that I think hopefully will be helpful for you guys as well. And the first one that I want to touch upon is just trying to make positives out of a negative experience. So there are a few people for whom the MCAT just off the right of the bat was a positive experience. And for them, I applaud you, that's great. But for the most of us, I feel like, myself included, studying and taking a long standardized test just isn't fun. I tried to find positives wherever I could to kind of get me through that. And so one in particular is just the environment that I'm studying. For example, I personally could not get anything done if I am studying in an environment where I don't feel comfortable. And so something I would do is I would go to my favorite places to study. And for me, that was a real big thing, was coffee shops and my local Barnes & Noble. Obviously, this was a little bit tempered because of COVID, but it's something that I really stress, I think is really helpful when preparing, is getting yourself in an environment that is comfortable with like the little things that can kind of like improve your study mood. So for me, it was like sitting down, getting comfy at a desk with an outlet and things like that. And that made me feel like I'm ready to go. And so a benefit from that experience is now that I'm studying every day, preparing for the MCAT, I don't really want to go to study for the MCAT right now, but I get to go to my favorite place, I get to get my coffee. Finding small little things in the study process that I found enjoyable and really like centering around that aspect just helped take like this big black cloud of, oh, I have to study like 3 or 4 hours today for the MCAT. And my second point of advice that really helped me get through this journey was making a schedule with a lot of breaks. Something that was really helpful for me is I kind of planned out an overall schedule, and I was able to stick to it largely because I just had so much time built in for when life happens. It's just going to happen. Even if you are fairly like conservative in your scheduling and you only like say, oh, I'm only going to study this amount every single day. There's going to be some days where you are not going to be able to study at all, right? And so for me, I built in a lot of wiggle room. As a result, I didn't feel behind. Even if I ended up going on vacation for a couple of days or something came up and I didn't study for 3 or 4 days, I had that kind of built in already. And that really helped me with these feelings of, okay, I'm still on top of my thing. I still have the ability to get where I want to be. And that way you also have something to look forward to. So for me, I never did anything on Sundays. I would study like 6 days a week, but then not on Sundays at all. And for me, that was like, oh, it's Saturday, I have something to look forward to tomorrow. If you did find this helpful, feel free to subscribe to MedLife Mastery's free email list in the link below. And you can get a lot more helpful tips and nuggets from other people who have taken the MCAT like me through that series. The third point that I want to talk about, I think this is honestly one of the things that was most helpful to me, was just having a strong support system. For me, it was primarily my friends and my family. My family was very helpful throughout the whole experience. The whole month that I was home during winter break, obviously I didn't have to cook any of my meals or worry about anything else except for the MCAT. And having that kind of support was very helpful to me, and it allowed me to kind of just fully put my full energy into this test. I also had a couple friends that were taking the MCAT around the same time as me, and that was a great experience. In that one, I could see that other people were going through the same things as me. We were all having like the same struggles, almost like trial by fire together. But also, it was enjoyable to hang out with them outside of studying for the MCAT. Try and shift the focus away from the MCAT. Just so much of your life is already being dominated by it. Try and find space to talk about other things and try to like relieve your mind that way as well. The last thing that I want to talk about is kind of just perspective. Trying to put it all in perspective was helpful for me because yes, the MCAT is an important test for med school admissions. This is like a thing that we've been dreaming and working towards a large part of our life. At the same time, I think putting everything in perspective was very helpful for me pushing through, particularly towards the end where I felt like I was starting to hit a wall. I just took a step back and started thinking about like, what am I doing all of this for? Why do I want to be doing this? I'm doing this to help people. I'm doing this to help patients. I want to be a doctor for this reason. That kind of helps you push through learning like the minutia of stuff that you feel like might not be necessary, for example, like optics, all this fluid stuff, or physics. I found that to be real helpful, and also just perspective in terms of there are thousands of other kids taking this with me, going through the same experience. We're all going through it together. If they can do it, so can I. That to me was really helpful, especially when COVID was running rampant and I was studying for a test at the same time. Getting towards the end of my journey, I ended up taking it, as I said, in January of 2021, and I ended up getting a 524 in the MCAT. And I remember being really relieved and happy about the fact that the work that I had put in paid off. Have confidence in yourself, have confidence in your abilities. It's very hard to go through this process alone, but with other people, you really can push through. And you guys can all do this.